SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in on a Tuesday. One baseball game already in the books, and the most noteworthy thing that happened was the invention, creation, whatever, of the 6-7 cam. So if you missed it, be glad. Be glad. But Ole Miss does get a midweek win. Mississippi State going to play here in just a little bit. We'll talk some baseball. We'll look at ahead at the weekend series upcoming. Got Jeff Lebby post-practice video. His was 8 minutes. Pete Golding talked for the first time in a long time. Therefore, his was 27 minutes. We will not play all 27 minutes for you.
I say you start that video about, 5:28, and you let it run through the rest of the show, and I'll get out here a little early today.
We will not play 27 minutes of press conference video, but there was a lot there. I love my over pick on the Caleb Cunningham receptions this year. I'm telling you, the over's going to hit on that one.
We shall see.
So we got a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. So glad that you guys are with us. Also, our friend at Foya Ball, we're going to have him on soon.
Did he deliver again?
The most private
okay.
playing usage in college football. And roll tide roll. My goodness, Kalen DeBoer, where are you going, man? Where are you going, Kalen DeBoer? So we'll talk about all that more with you.
We'll find out later. Where you should be going is Pearl River Resort. You should be headed there this weekend or any weekend when you want to have a great time. Great food, great live entertainment, great golf, great relaxation, whatever it is you're looking for. They've got it at Pearl River Resort. Book your stay right now at pearlriverresort.com. cspire.com. C-Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. With C-Spire, it's easier than ever to get all the devices you want in one move with the Ultimate Connect bundle. Right now, new and current customers can get a free phone, watch, and tablet, plus 100 gigs of data for just $90. That includes the new iPhone 17 and Samsung Galaxy S26 for free, and a free smartwatch and tablet to go with it. So don't wait. There's more to see. Visit cspire.com or stop by your local C-Spire store today. C-Spire, inspired by you. If I had a new smartwatch, I could have timed that.
Yeah, you could have.
So I need to look into this deal. That's a great deal. Been thinking about getting a new phone.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm on the 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is...
I'm behind the times. So I might.
It's pretty ancient.
I might look into it. You might be seeing me soon, friends at C-Spire store here in Starkville.
I do want just one day to talk to the people that wait in line outside of an Apple store when the new phone comes out. Like waiting in line, camping out, like they have to get the brand new iPhone like the morning it comes out. Like,
can't you shop online and just...
Yeah, or I don't know, go this weekend or take a long lunch. What?
Why do you have to be the first?
Right.
You're not the first too. Like the people who make iPhones and stuff, they've already got them.
Yeah.
Like you might be the first one in your city.
And it's not like it's a new innovation. Like when the first iPhone came out, I get that.
Yeah.
Or like when Halo 2 dropped.
Better version of it, yeah.
But you're camping out for the thing that you've already got. I don't understand that. It's never made sense to me. Although I am kind of scarred from camping out in front of a Buffalo Wild Wings for a few nights, and their first 50 people in the door get free wings for a year, and that free wings for a year was...
That. Last time I didn't camp out, but I was in a long line was college football, EA college football. and I stood in line for about 45 minutes. But I got what I was promised, which was the game that I had pre-ordered. So there was no emotional scarring. I was quite all right afterwards.
Somebody says, I only camped out for a Nintendo, vowed never again. Has anybody truly enjoyed the... No, actually, I know somebody that camped out for Franklin Barbecue. They had a great time. They brought a cooler. They had, they made it a party.
The problem with that, and we're just off the rails from the start of the show here, is in Austin, there are great barbecue places you don't have to camp out. Just as good. They're just as good. I've never eaten at Franklin. I refuse to believe that the barbecue is so much better that I should sit in 5-hour line to get it.
Even longer. They got there the night before.
I would never. And again, I've told you guys this. There's a hack. Like, you can just order it to go. You can literally, if you order a $100 order, which is not difficult to do, maybe more now, than it was a few years back, but you can. Some friends of mine did it. You just order it to go, and you just walk in, pick it up, and walk out.
It's pretty sweet.
That's all you got to do. You just don't get the pleasure of eating in the restaurant, I guess.
Guy in Brookhaven says, not a guy in Brookhaven, but
guy in Brookhaven.
In Brookhaven.
Yeah.
Says we used to, for new PlayStations, and I'd pay 3 to 4 buddies and sell the other 3 for big money.
There you go.
Sell it at Christmas for $800. Wow. You buy it for $300, sell it for $800. Attaboy.
Sounds like when Dwight bought all of the Princess Unicorn dolls. Her horn can pierce the sky.
It's an Office reference for those of you that...
No, don't do that.
Some people don't get it.
No. Either you get the reference or you don't. It's like, I love inside jokes. I'd like to be a part of one day. Same thing here. Just, if you know, you know. If you don't explain. Never explain your references, Borky. Just make the references and go.
Somebody says, I did a Black Friday sale at Best Buy in the early 2000s for a steal on a 65-inch TV. 3 a.m. till open. It was a nice deal and great TV, but never again.
Yeah, like early 2000s before online shopping was a real thing. I get it, sort of. But
I get that more than today.
Nowadays, yeah, like you could just buy it online and have it shipped to your front door, and maybe you don't you don't need it on Black Friday. You don't have to have it.
And your online deals are
sometimes
even better.
The Cyber Monday deals are usually better than the Black Friday deals. Plus, they come with a 100% less chance of getting punched in the mouth.
Somebody says, does getting to the John Deere place, shout out Ag Up, 1 hour before they open to get a part for a tractor count? No, that's fine. That's you're just an early person at that point. You're not camping out doing anything crazy.
But at the same time, like, what time they open. Just be there when they open. They'll have it. They'll have the part.
I do love, not to brag, Costco executive member. Mm-hmm. Again, not to brag, So we get the early, the 1 hour before everybody else. I do love pulling up to Costco at 8:55 and sitting in the car for 5 minutes before they open the door, and it's me and like 3 other people walking in. That's the best feeling.
See, it'd be even better if there was a line of people and you just like, hello, pores, and then just go on in.
Hey, I'm telling you, when you go at like 9:50, there is a bunch of people waiting to get in, and you walk right by.
You just walk around like, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah. That's when you see a young, attractive lady out there, you'd be like, if you want to get in.
I got you right here. Look at
the price is your number.
You've seen that video of the student section where
the guy has the Costco card.
He's got a Costco card. He's flirting with the pretty girl next to him, and he shows her the card.
A Costco membership shows that you understand value, that you're willing to shop. That there's a lot. It's a good sign. It's a green flag.
Somebody says, camped out for student tickets for the 96 Final Four, went to games and also scalped extras that paid for an engagement ring, still married, great use of the camp out. That's different.
Guess what? You and I were in the same line.
How about that?
Yeah.
But that's different. A student camping out for Final Four tickets,
that's different.
That is not camping outside of a Best Buy for a TV.
I camped out for 2 basketball games in college. The season finale, my freshman and my sophomore year, I stayed up all night. Those were Sweet 16 and Final Four. So,
somebody says 6 hours. I'll edit this a little bit. 6 hours for college game day, and let's call it a stomach bug hit him the second the gates
open. You can say that.
I know, but
he had hot snakes.
What is that? It's when the
So it comes out like hot snakes. I got hot snakes and bubble gut. He had bubble gut.
Camped for 6 hours for college game day. Missed the whole thing. Ooh.
Oh, that's rough.
That's tough. Camped out overnight for State versus LSU in 1991. Jackie Sherrill brought us pizza, and Richard Williams brought donuts. That's Marty and Ripley. Awesome.
Paul and Brandon, I refuse to shop with the commoners after 10 a.m. at Sam's, so I go at 8. There you go.
Hey, that feeling of 9:50 walking into Costco.
It's got to be elite. You're just like,
and there is nothing.
You should walk out like Ric Flair. You should put the Ric Flair robe on, and just be like, "Woo! And got some good deals today, brother."
I can never do that in my life. Like I don't have a nice car.
Can you give me some of those caramel beignets I keep seeing on the on TV or on the Instagram and stuff? I want some of those.
Okay.
Give me some of those.
Next time you're coming down this way.
My wife was like, "Oh, I'm going to get them," when she went to Costco, and she came back with Nutella ones. And I was like, I like Nutella, but I wanted caramel. Also want one of those croissants. What do they got now? It's like the cheesecake or something. I don't know what it is.
Everything they have.
Yeah, I just need to go shopping with you. I just need
pretty much. Yeah, we'll get you in there with my executive membership.
I like that.
And speaking of getting things done
the executive
early,
lock of the week.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah.
Ole Miss already done with their game today. It was a little uninspiring, but a win. And so we'll talk about that. Look at tonight's slate as well when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio.
From the Venable Glass
or Sports Talk Mississippi now.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi. It was Kids Day in Oxford, and had the audio going while I was doing some other stuff. And Kids Day is a lot of fun for the kids. I remember going to Kids Day games at Greenville Growl Hockey. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's great for the kids. Get them out of school, get some energy out. I don't know how the teachers handle it. Because now the kids are crazy, right? Teachers have to deal with kids every day. Like 18 kindergartners in a class. I don't know how my son's teacher does it. I don't. But they're more behaved in the classroom than they are at a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
And they have got to herd them. They've got to account for all of them. You know what I mean? I don't know how they do it. And I admire the heck out of them. That's got to be the hardest day as a teacher. Like, let's get on a bus. Let's go to a baseball game where you guys, because you're outside and there's loud music and stuff, you go insane. And also there's projectiles headed your way anytime somebody hits a foul ball. And then they put the 6-7 cam up there. It is just constant noise the whole time.
Yeah.
And then it's amazing. The last two innings of Kids Day is always the best because they never stay for the full game. They clear out at like the 6th inning. And
Too bad that Little Rock couldn't get 2 more runs on the board here today.
Oh, extras?
No.
Oh.
2 more runs. I'm not saying tie it up. No.
Ole Miss wins 7-4. Little Rock did out-hit them today. Ole Miss only had 8 hits, although they actually, Hadad, hit the baseball with bases loaded. That was a thing that happened. They had bases loaded.
That's a new thing.
And Furness in particular had a bases-clearing double mixed in there. And so that is what it was. It's still... What I have to protect against, Hadad, is because they've been bad at the plate most of the season, not looking at every game and being like, see, like not ever pointing out anything good that happened. But so they won a game. You're supposed to. You win midweek games. They're not always going to be pretty, etc. It's just still hard. Sorry for being hypercritical. It's just still hard to look at even today and think, they're about to turn a corner here. You know what I mean?
Game. I mean, it's 3-1 after the second inning. Little Rock
going into the 5th. Ole Miss had 1 run, and it was a solo home run.
Yeah, Ole Miss fans had to be watching this going, are you for real right now? So credit to Ole Miss for finding its way and getting the game under control, taking control of the game and winning it. But yeah, there had to be a moment there where You're as an Ole Miss fan, you're watching this going, is this really happening right this second?
And coming off of a week where in their 4 games they scored 8 runs, they score 7 in this one. So I'm afraid I'm being hypercritical, but I don't think so. If you were looking for, I mean, especially after the weekend that they had,
a week they were 0-4 last week.
0-4, yeah. They didn't jump on a lesser opponent right away. Like if you're looking for signs of they're turning the corner, what would have been a more positive result today is they just jumped on Little Rock early. They were locked in. They were focused. They had great at-bats. They just blitzed the heck out of them and then kind of took the foot off the gas and cruised to a midweek win. But instead, it was a struggle for a while. And, it's just one game. Obviously, this weekend's a lot more important. And they won that game, and that's a good thing. But there was nothing that I saw today that makes me think that, okay, they're locked back in. Bad week. They're going to start doing things that are going to turn the corner. We'll see this weekend, and if they do that this weekend, great. But it's just been a rough showing for Ole Miss offensively, and it does not get any easier at all being in Gainesville this weekend.
It's just weird seeing, like Foley had 20 home runs last year. Not necessarily a great average hitter, but the power was there, and he just hasn't been there. I remember, Federico, is he a sophomore?
This is his second year playing. I think he's a true. I
just remember the start of his career, like the first 10, 12 games, something like that. He was unstoppable. Everybody's like,
didn't have a strikeout.
This is the next great Ole Miss baseball player, and it just hasn't worked out for him as well. Furness, his average. I mean, his average.
True sophomore.
He had a good day today, but his average is not where you would expect it to be. Udemark. I mean, the weekend those guys had Udemark, Becerra, and Reuter. Not Reuter. None of those guys. That's the biggest reason Ole Miss lost is the 3 guys they depend on game in and game out didn't show up for them.
Something's wrong with Becerra too. He was 0 for again today. He was awesome until this weekend, and then has just been.
Look at it from a pitching standpoint. Like you mentioned, 13 hits for Little Rock today. They left 10 on base. They had opportunities to win this game.
Yeah. Now, Ole Miss didn't really throw really anybody.
Right.
But to your point, though, and this is what I asked Bianco about yesterday and what a lot of people are talking about, improvement, right? Have they gotten better? And maybe this isn't fair because baseball's kind of a unique – it's a difficult game. But, I mean, has Jed Udemark gotten better as a hitter? Maybe he has, but has he? He's below 300 now.
Yeah.
Has Dom Decker's hitting 234 after the season he had last year? Has Braden Randall gotten any better? Has Federico gotten any better? Has Foley gotten any better? I mean, Pasella was a star last season. He's hitting 146 right now. I mean, you look up and down this.
He was really bad on Sunday. Really bad.
And his numbers. See if his bio has him. From last year, he was an all-conference player. I mean, he was special. Now, it was Illinois State, but first-team all-conference type guy, just a special baseball player, and has just been, I mean, let's be honest, he's been horrendous since he's gotten to Ole Miss, and that's what I'm concerned with is nobody's gotten better from last season to this season that returned. And you returned so much, and nobody has improved from last season to this season. Nobody.
It's interesting to watch. Like, I think people forget. Like, last year Ole Miss was good enough to host a regional. They put themselves in a position where they should have been hosting a super regional. And they played quality baseball. And, the guys they brought back, especially from the pitching standpoint, you thought they'd be good. And then they brought in some guys. I remember talking to some people in the offseason. They're like, it's just going to depend on these hitters, but I think Ole Miss did pretty good in the portal.
They did well. I mean, they had a well-regarded portal class.
Yeah. And if anything, Becerra's been better than expected. And yet, it's just not clicking.
No.
Now, we some of this is, if they had played somebody else last week, they Mississippi State, for whatever reason, I don't know the answer to the question. And if I did, you'd bottle it up and try to get it to Jeff Levy. But Mississippi State just has this dominance over Ole Miss in baseball right now. This year, it's a little easier to explain. State's just a much better team than Ole Miss. There's some years where I can't say that, but State still wins the series.
Yeah.
But, this series with Florida coming up, Florida's been very inconsistent, right? Like, they get swept by Alabama, but then they turn around and sweep Arkansas. So they're kind of roller coastery. Mm-hmm. If you're Ole Miss, you got. But again, for Ole Miss especially, I really truly believe this. You've got to win these Hunter Elliott starts.
Got to.
You cannot lose when Hunter Elliott is on the mound. If you lose that game, you are not winning that series, and you're probably going to get swept.
Somebody says, I agree, Borky, but in the grand scheme of things, midweek games can always be wonky. Look at Georgia State right now against number 5 Georgia. No hit through 4 innings and down 1-0. But yes, Ole Miss has become inconsistent and not competitive through several midweek games and very concerning. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I mean. Like, they won today. If they didn't get swept this past weekend and they didn't lose to Memphis last week, and they didn't score 1 run in Hattiesburg, for example, we wouldn't even be taught. We'd be done with this conversation already. Oh, yeah, they won. Whatever. I mean, midweek games, kind of weird. Doesn't matter. Move on. But they did lose to Memphis, where they didn't produce at all. They only scored 6 runs on their home field over a 3-game series. They did go to Hattiesburg and score 1 run in that game. It's a season-long problem. I mean, even back to the non-conference series, like Game 3 in Houston against Coastal, and Coastal, remember, was down their top 2 starting pitchers that weekend. So you're deep in the Coastal Carolina bullpen. You score 2 runs. So this is a season-long problem, and I mean, maybe we're talking in circles about it because what can be done, I don't know until after the season, but they have got to fix it fast, or else there is a chance, I'm not saying it's happening, there is a chance that this season, I mean, Kevin Malone dropping the gigantic tub of chili, I mean, just...
I mean...
If you can't hit the baseball this weekend, you're getting swept again.
It's Florida, then it's LSU, then it's Tennessee, then it's Georgia, then it's Arkansas, then it's Texas A&M, then it's Alabama.
And you pitch it well enough to be in
all
of those series, but not a single one is a break, like you said.
Yeah, no more breaks. Every one of those teams is good. Maybe not LSU.
Somebody says, new players coming from smaller college atmosphere are struggling with SEC party school. I promise the party is not what's going on here. Yeah, there's a jump from one competition level to the next, but other schools seem to figure that out nicely. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook.com.
It's time to get real.
Real sports talk for Mississippi.
It's time for you to get real with it.
Sports Talk Mississippi continues on Super Talk Mississippi.
Well, on this note, Gentile Apparel is the official apparel provider of Sports Talk Mississippi. Whether you want to get some cold weather or cool weather gear like Borkey with the lovely Gentile hoodie, or you're just going short sleeve polo like I am, shorts, slacks. I don't know if they have cufflinks and stick pins.
I don't think
so. As ZZ Top is referring to. And as we get closer to summer, don't forget about their swimwear. Fantastic, comfortable, and of course the patented escape hatch technology. The collegiate collection is available: maroon and white, red and blue, black and gold. Whatever color team you support, they've got it. GentileApparel.com.
Other baseball around the country, as mentioned, Georgia down 3-0, top 5 to Georgia State. That's Mississippi State's opponent this weekend, obviously. Mm-hmm. Kansas, Missouri coming up later. Austin Peay at Tennessee. Miami of Ohio at Kentucky. Wofford at South Carolina. Look out. The Terriers are good. Look out. They've already lost to the Citadel, has South Carolina. Might as well add Wofford to that group.
On the other side of that, South Carolina is not good.
No, they're 13-16. Ugh. Jacksonville's at Florida. Belmont at Vanderbilt. Oklahoma's at Oral Roberts, who are 6-0 in the Summit League. Did you know that they were in the Summit League? I think I could have gotten there on my second or third guess.
I would have gotten there eventually, yeah.
Sam Houston at Texas A&M, Auburn at Georgia Tech, and Atlanta. So they've already played once this season, Auburn making a return trip.
That's interesting for a non-conference game. I shouldn't say it's interesting because, State plays Southern Mississippi twice, but it's interesting for an out-of-state power conference game. That's rare. You don't see that very often.
And, sorry, I lost my page there. Grambling, obviously, at Mississippi State, it's one of those games, without being overly disrespectful to the opponent, there's really not much that you can... You
get some guys some work. Yeah. Billingsley, Bauer, Parker Rhodes. Those are guys who'll get some work tonight.
And you just
It's just some guys. I mean, my guess is the starting lineup looks a little different. Blake Beavis, Valencius, I should say, probably starting. Drew Wires. It's tough.
That's annoying, is what that is. Well, with all due respect, and you got to respect him.
Drew Wires probably getting the start tonight. Just trying to think my way around. Nunnally might could get back into the starting lineup. I don't know.
Alabama's at Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State 24-5.
They're a good team
right now.
They're a good team.
Texas State at Texas. Arkansas is at Missouri State.
What's their?
And Southern is at LSU.
What is Jacksonville State's RPI? 29.
How about that?
Yeah.
9-0 in the Conference USA.
Yeah.
Now, Conference USA not a particularly great baseball league. Southern Miss fans, you guys are familiar with that. You have upgraded your competition level, but still pretty good ball club there, it seems.
Yeah.
James on the text line says, just looked at team batting average on the NCAA site. Through games that happened on Sunday, out of 300, Mississippi State's ranked 4th, Southern Miss 181st, and Ole Miss 205.
So what's the more eye-popping thing to you? Ole Miss at 205 or State at 4?
Ole Miss at 205.
Yeah, I agree. That's too low for an SEC team.
Staggering.
Just having played the amount of non-conference games they played, they should be higher.
And they're not.
Yeah. State versus the Block G this week. They have Grambling tonight and then Georgia. It's the same logo. It's just different colors.
Somebody sends us a picture. It says, "Go Wofford," and behind a glass door, he's got his 3 Boston Terriers.
There you go.
That is awesome. And Georgia now has tied it up.
We shouldn't have mentioned it.
It should just let it go. But
it's all right.
But I couldn't help it, I suppose.
It'll be okay.
Weekend series in the SEC, by the way. This is a lot more interesting than what happens tonight. Georgia at Mississippi State, number 5 at number 4. That should be a fun one. Obviously, starting on Thursday night. Point of order, by the way. Because of Good Friday, we will not have a show on Friday. So if you tune in looking for a reaction to the game, you will not get it. It's a company holiday.
Yeah.
We will be observing that holiday with our families.
Yes.
And so we will not have a live show.
I assume Rebel Report will have a recap on.
There will be, yes.
There will be Thunder and Lightning will do the same. I will come back to the studio after the game and record and have some recap of game 1 of the Georgia-Mississippi State season and series, I should say. And Michael will have Florida Ole Miss recap on the Rebel Report.
So we will not see you on Friday.
No.
But thoughts on that series?
I mean, Mississippi State still has to play Texas. I don't know if Georgia plays Texas or not. It's kind of irrelevant, right? If State wins this series, it's just about taking care of business the rest of the way to get to that series with Texas for a chance to win the SEC. You win this series, you're going up in the polls. You're going to be 3rd, maybe. Would probably jump Georgia Tech. So, you'd be 3rd. Texas is at South Carolina this weekend. I'm just going to assume that Texas will win all 3 of those games. I don't know who UCLA is playing, but my guess is they will dominate them in the Big Ten. So State could be 3rd coming out of this weekend if they handle their business. Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So you move everybody up. I will be fascinated to see if, because they have to move Valencius up to Friday, do you keep him there? Or do you just go back to he's the game 2 pitcher? Because, I feel like he's such a cheat code on Saturday. Like, nobody in the conference has a guy like that going second.
Yeah.
And, Foster I thought was good this past week. I thought he pitched really well for Mississippi State, but I think we would all agree he's not a typical Friday night starter. So the opportunity maybe to move him down to Sunday or Saturday and let Vlinkas take Friday. I don't know if State does that going forward, but for this weekend, you've got him on game 2. This is 2 really good teams. Georgia hits a ton of home runs, but they're not a great pitching team. So I expect some fireworks, but State has been really good pitching wise. I think nationally they're top 10 in ERA. And in the SEC play, they've been really good. Vanderbilt has scored 60 runs on the 2 other teams they've played, and they scored 11 on Mississippi State. Ole Miss has been a team. They put up a bunch of runs on Kentucky, not on Mississippi State. Yeah. So their pitching has been really, really good. The defense has been good. If they win this series, they will be on pace to do everything they wanted to do this year: win the SEC, host a super regional. If you lose this series, it's not the end of the world. Don't get me wrong, right? If you lose this series, you give up one game. We already talked about it. Where they're +3, right?
Right.
They swept the home series. They swept the road series. That's 3 wins you don't originally count on. Go back to +2. You're still on pace to do everything. But a win would be. I feel like State's not in the statement making business at this point. I think everybody knows this is a really good baseball team. But if you take this series from Georgia, everybody's going to say, okay, it's Mississippi State and Texas on top of the SEC. Those are the 2 best teams.
Yeah, that's the opportunity presented. You laid that out nicely. It's not necessarily about are they good, are they not good. It's what can you turn this into and how will that impact what they are in the postseason. That's the kind of series that this one is right here.
Yeah.
Not only do you want to hang a banner, if you can, winning the SEC, but I mean, you didn't build that stadium to not host super regionals. That's what you built that stadium for.
Said that many times. That stadium did not get built to be empty in June. And it just did not. Somebody asking on the C Spire text line, any news whether they might play 2 Friday because of the chance of rain Saturday? We got to do it again, I guess. Guys, when I know, you'll know. When I know, everybody will know.
But he's asking, is there a chance? Absolutely.
There's obviously a chance.
Absolutely.
Because the weather is supposed to be weird this weekend. I don't know. There's a chance of rain in Starkville, I believe, every day the rest of the week. So perhaps.
Yeah, Saturday's got a 80% chance in the forecast.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be the smart thing. And just do it, Most people have the day off. I mean, I guess maybe the crowd won't be as big as it usually would, but you'd have an unbelievable crowd regardless.
The first game, maybe not. If you did first pitch at 6 like you were planning to for Friday, you'd have a monster crowd there.
Yeah,
and like you said, people are off, so it's not like the most people are off. They could readjust and be like, all right, we're going up early today.
Exactly.
So.
The other series, Vanderbilt at Texas A&M, LSU at Tennessee. That one
That's a loser leaves town kind of
There's
thing.
There's a lot.
So whoever loses that series is in some trouble.
Missouri is at Kentucky. Did you see LSU? LSU fans got an introduction to the Kentucky antics in its worst way this weekend.
Yes, those 2 teams. There's some bad blood going on there, and you got Mingione and Jay Johnson calling each other out from the dugout. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right. Expletive here.
Yeah.
Come fight me, bro. At some point, I think the umpires should just, okay, do these middle-aged men actually want to throw fists at each other? Here, go for it, guys.
You see the umpires just go, just do their hands together. Let's get it on.
Do it like hockey, where the second one of them falls on his back, then you go break them.
You separate
them.
them. Exactly, yeah.
See if Jay Johnson and Mingione were actually going to be about what they were acting like they were about.
I don't know about Jay Johnson. Mingione would have fought. He'd be happy to do it, I think.
He'd have fought while his team was doing Fortnite emotes in the background.
Well, I mean, that makes it even better.
The little take the L thing?
Yeah.
That's what they're about there. We'll look at the rest of the series and continue on this Tuesday. So glad that you guys are with us. 601-879-4395 is the C Spire text line. If you want to be a part of the show, that's how you do it. We'll be right back.
From the Venable Glass.
Your number 1 for sports talk.
Anyone? Come on, don't be shy.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Bingo, man, bingo.
Super Talk Mississippi.
subway train. You call another shots. You strip a lightning. You're in love.
Is this a stolen one, too?
I know my playlist. Rhino takes good care of me. He knows my tastes.
Yeah. Well, good for you guys. I'm proud of you. You don't own this music, though. I
don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have the rights to it.
Sports Talk Mississippi. I'm Michael Borkey. He is Brian Hadad. Coming up in Gainesville, Ole Miss at Florida. Now, Florida's a very fascinating team that, they're just solid across the board. It's an offense that's really dangerous. It's a group of starting pitchers that don't have just the most unbelievable numbers that you've ever seen. Anyway, I think there are better rotations in the SEC that you'll see later on. But for example, Liam Peterson's got 55 strikeouts in his 34 innings pitched so far this season. So even though he's got an ERA up to almost 4, man, he's got a high strikeout rate. And this is what you need to see from Ole Miss. You need to see signs of life offensively. Hunter Elliott can't win games by himself. And, yeah, you've got a good pitching staff and you got good bullpen arms, I think. I've said this before. I think the numbers don't tell the whole story about the pitching staff. You've dealt with an injury from a weekend starter. You had to make a change there as well. But they are more talented and more productive as a group of pitchers than the numbers say that they are. And you got to see it in person. I mean, they've played Texas and Austin, and they played possibly the best lineup in the country as a pitching staff. Not many staffs have faced what Ole Miss has faced this season. They're really good there, and they can keep you in a lot of games there. But if you're going to strike out too much, if you're going to have 30 strikeouts on a weekend, if you're going to leave a bunch of guys on base, if you're going to be awful with the bases loaded, if you're going to have all of your scoring come from solo home runs, you're going to get swept again. And so that's, do they turn things around offensively? Do they show signs of life? You don't have to win this series. You got to come back with one at a minimum, though, to at least keep your head above water. But, man, if you get swept again, I don't see a path to the postseason if they get swept again.
So they'd be what, 3-9?
Be 3-9, and it's
so last year
it's an ugly 3-9 too.
We talked about this, I think, with Mark Etheridge last week. Florida started off 1-11 and then ended up making it in, right? So it's possible. And his point is correct. Ole Miss's schedule is so tough that 12-18 would have them on the bubble, and 13-17 you're certainly in. But at 3-9, that means the rest of the way you've got to go 10-8. And we just listed off the teams they're playing. That would be a very tough ask for the Rebels. So we'll see.
Yeah, somebody says Liam Peterson's a first-rounder who throws up to 100 miles an hour. He touched 100 at Alabama. I mean, that strikeout rate tells you the story. Hasn't given up a home run this year, by the way.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. Aiden King has a sub-2 ERA. He'll be another starter for Florida. And then their third starters, Cooper Walls, has got an ERA at almost 5 and does not have that high strikeout rate like we mentioned with Peterson. They're good. It's Florida, man. They're good. They've got good arms. They've got quality bats. They've got everything. It's a really good team and a really difficult challenge. And this is not the kind of team that right now you need to go win one against.
It's just about winning a game this weekend. You're on the road. Don't get swept. Don't get swept. Ole Miss had done, the first 2 weeks they did what they were supposed to do, right? They didn't get swept at Texas. They won the series against Kentucky. Getting swept at home is a really tough hill to overcome, right? Because you got to find 3 wins just to get back on 15-15 pace. That's going to be very tough for the Rebels. They're going to have to find a way to win 2 road series and sweep a home series. And at the end of the day, the way they're hitting the baseball right now, They're not going to do that. So something has to change. This isn't a situation where we're just looking at them and going, gosh, they're playing better than the results are, right? Right now, the way they're playing and the results match. They are playing bad baseball right now. They've got to fix that somehow.
Yes, they must. Other series, Arkansas at Auburn. That should be a fun one. Texas at South Carolina. There will be more Texas fans in attendance and South Carolina fans, even despite the distance between the two.
It could be.
And then Alabama at Oklahoma. So that wraps your weekend series upcoming in the SEC. Those obviously get started on Thursday night. Not all of them. All but two get started on Thursday night. I don't understand the two that don't. I guess that's just a TV thing.
They're a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series this weekend?
I think there's two.
With Easter?
I think there's two. I'll have to double check that, but I believe there's two. And we'll be back after the news. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
Talk Mississippi.
Here we go.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things that I want to say. You know
Well, Josie may be on a vacation, but you're probably not right now, which means you're going to be out in the yard working this week if we can avoid the rain. It doesn't matter how big your yard is, right? You don't have to have a gigantic ranch. You don't have to own the Yellowstone if you want to have a John Deere mower taking care of your yard. They got a mower for just about everybody at Ag Up, and that's America's mower, all right? America, Borkey, America. They've got that at Ag Up. Right now, you can get a John Deere 3025E with loader for only $265 a month. They're in their 3 Series tractor blowout. Plenty of other models are available in the 3 Series, so I want you to go check that out. There's 15 Ag Up locations throughout Mississippi, so there's one nearby wherever you are, or you can check them out online. We were just talking about online shopping earlier. AgUp.com is the place to go. Ag Up is your down-home dealer. Let them get you in some John Deere green as we fight the war on weeds this spring and summer.
So we will get to Jeff Lebby here coming up after the break. He talked about spring practice. Of course, Pete Golding did as well for the first time today in a long time, and the media got a lot out of him. 27 minutes long. We will not play the entire 27 minutes.
You keep saying that, but I think people want to hear it. I think starting at 5:28, we should play that whole thing.
That'd be great for you.
Be fantastic.
But yeah, we'll do that here in just a second. Tiger Woods has entered a plea of not guilty in his DUI arrest. He is also waiving his arraignment and demanding a jury trial.
Going right to it.
So I'm not a lawyer. My assumption would be that because they don't have any positive tests of any kind, the demanding of a jury trial will lead to this, getting dropped. He'll pay a fine or whatever, and they'll move on. But Golf.com obtained the probable cause affidavit, and here is what the police report says about Tiger's accident. Woods said he was coming from his nearby home, looking down at his phone and changing the radio station at the time of the accident. Looking at his phone and also changing the radio station at the same time is what he claimed. He said
if I'm a lawyer, my first thing is like, what do you mean? Who's still listening? Like, this is Tiger Woods. What's he listening to on the radio? I want to know.
He might be listening to Sports Talk Florida.
That's a inferior show to Sports Talk Mississippi. I'm just saying.
He said he didn't notice the pickup truck ahead of him, slowing to turn into a driveway. He crossed a double solid line in order to overtake the pickup truck and the trailer it was pulling, clipping the back of the trailer, flipping his car onto the driver's side and skidding to a halt. After investigating the crash, the sheriff observed Woods to be, quote, sweating profusely, end quote. And though he was lethargic and slow, he was alert throughout the investigation. The sheriff stated that Woods walked with a limp, but also stumbled. Yeah, he walked with a limp because half his leg's missing. But he explained to the sheriff that he had 7 back surgeries and over 20 operations on his leg, which was covered in a compression sleeve. Woods said his ankle seizes when walking. And again, he did prove that when he did his TGL appearance last week. He struggles to walk these days. Upon search, 2 white pills were found in Tiger Woods' left pant pocket, which were marked as hydrocodone, an opioid commonly used for pain treatment. Woods declared that he had not consumed any alcohol nor any illegal substances, but admitted that he takes a few types of medication and had taken prescribed medicine that morning. Multiple medicines were redacted from the report. Woods was observed as talkative and had hiccups throughout. Went through field sobriety tests. Let's see. His eyes were bloodshot and glassy. His pupils were extremely dilated, and that there was a lack of smooth pursuit in both eyes. Woods moved his head side to side, the report states, despite being instructed to keep his head straight multiple times. And again, it goes through all of the tests and stuff that he did. As you know, he's been involved in multiple driving incidents and stuff in the past. And I think it's obvious what's going on here. Maybe I'm wrong. So this is all just an observation and not presenting a statement of fact. I think it's obvious that he got hooked on painkillers after having multiple surgeries and stuff like that throughout his career. And, he had 2 highly addictive pain pills in his pocket upon the arrest and admitted that he's taking stuff for pain. He is very clearly in pain. Walking was a struggle. And he's also very clearly somebody that is a super intense competitor and would be willing to do anything to play in the Masters, for example. And by the way, it's been reported that, after he got out of jail, he went straight back into trying to prepare because he wants to play in the Masters. Right. I think that would be a very bad idea, but it's not up to me. As a former champion, he gets to decide that on his own. It's obviously a sad deal. There's another conversation to be had maybe on Mornings with Richard Cross, but again, he is responsible for himself and his actions only. Man, it is so easy if you have had surgery or a painful thing to get prescribed some super highly addictive stuff. When I was 16 years old, I broke a bone in my neck on the football field. 16-year-old me. I wasn't even really in pain. Not really. I told the doctor I was uncomfortable. Like, I don't hurt, but I'm uncomfortable. Prescription for hydrocodone. Exactly what Tiger had in his pocket. 16 years old. Yeah, here, have this, son. Take it. For pain that you don't even really have. The access to highly addictive drugs like that is rather insane. Does that absolve him from getting behind the wheel of a car and putting other people's lives in danger multiple times? Absolutely not.
No.
And him apparently, again, reportedly not wanting and not going to hire a driver because of privacy concerns, if that is a real thing, that is a BS excuse. There are uber wealthy and famous people that have drivers and nobody knows what they're doing. There's legal documents and stuff that you can get a driver to sign that will never disclose where they take you, and it will not be a problem. So that's a garbage excuse. But I will say opioid addiction is very easy to have happen to a person that is way too easy to happen. And so that is the details anyway of his accident. I sure hope he doesn't show up at Augusta and try to play golf. He doesn't. That is not the right thing to do. He can barely walk anyway. Like, absent the accident, he probably shouldn't play anyway. But after this, nah, man, you've got something that you need to go figure out.
Yeah, he's got to get himself straight. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will be the case.
Hopefully so.
Yeah. Just, this is Tiger Woods, right? This is one of our all-time greatest athletes. This is a legend. This is, an icon of his sport. It sucks. It sucks when you see stuff like this,
Yeah.
So
because it's a reminder that they're not larger than life, too.
Right. They're just people like the rest of us. And,
especially when they age. That's another one that kind of like reality slaps you in the face a little bit when their body starts breaking down some. Seeing a legendary football player in their 60s and 70s, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to sound bad. Like, Terry Bradshaw is not as sharp as he used to be. That's hard to watch now.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Lee Corso's been hard to watch. I love Lee Corso, but that's been tough to see him kind of just, not be there anymore.
It's not a pleasant, as you mentioned, age is the one thing you can't escape. That's one thing. Guys get old. I wish they would sometimes get out a little earlier, but whatever. This is a different thing. This is choices. Poor choices are being made, and I don't know. We'll see if he can get it fixed. Because if he doesn't, somebody says it here on the C Spire text. Let me see if I can find it. With all the medications Tiger Woods has taken, all the surgeries that he's had, he's exempt from the Masters qualification to age 60.
Well, he's exempt for life, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. He will not see 60 at the rate he's going.
At this rate, no shot.
Yeah.
At this rate, absolutely no shot. Somebody says a lot easier to get on them than off. No kidding. I mean, that was a long time ago for me. I mean, I'm 34 now. I was 16, but in hindsight, that's unbelievable. I wasn't even in pain. I said I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it was, boom, hydrocodone, take it. 16-year-old boy. Big old bottle full of them. I took one and I hated it. But
yeah.
I had a bottle full of that just sitting next to me on the couch as I was recovering.
I've only taken painkillers once. And it was a shot at the emergency room. They're like, "Do you want something for pain?" I was like, "Yeah." Give me some Demerol. I slept for 2 days. I literally was awake for the next 48 hours. I was awake for 1 hour.
Wow.
Woke up, ate something, and went right back to sleep. It was absolute misery. Never again.
So that is, we'll put that conversation to bed now. We'll talk a little spring practice when we come back. We heard from Jeff Levy, and we will play that for you when we come back.
From the Venable
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Now more Sports Talk Mississippi.
It's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad. I almost said Michael Borkey and Jeff Levy with you. That'd be an interesting fill-in host.
Again, Michael, we're going to be real intentional in the way we do this show. The people inside these walls want to hear what we have to say. Again, as I said before, we're going to go now to my conversation with the local beat writers here at Mississippi State. People inside the building. Let's do that right now.
Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team.
Again, go with the home team.
I really like what I saw defensively. Just the effort and the energy and the attitude was what we needed. Offensively, some pre-snap issues with multiple groups that kept us from being able to get in a rhythm offensively. And defensively, they were on the attack all day and did some really good things. So we're healthy coming out of it, which is most important. Got the play count that we wanted, and we'll go grade the tape and get ready to do it again on Tuesday.
Well, as an offensive-minded coach, how much do you appreciate some great defensive effort to kind of stress the offense a little bit?
No, we need it. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal for us to be able to play the way we need to play on the defensive side of the ball to take that next step. So a ton to be able to build on. That's what I just told the defense just a minute ago, man. So many really good things happening this morning inside the scrimmage. There's going to be a ton to clean up. And if our guys will have the right mindset in cleaning it up and taking great ownership in the moments that weren't what we want, then we'll continue to make the strides we need to make.
Trevion's been here for a while now.
as part of that defense, how much are you looking for his leadership?
Yeah, we need Bam Bam to be a great leader for us. He's created consistency inside the building and outside the building. Bam's been the same guy every single day for us. We need that in a huge way, and looking for him to do great things for us.
We've asked you a lot about Camario and his leadership, but Fluff and Ant are guys who are also stepping up and trying to fill some big shoes in those positions. What have you seen from them, the head of those position groups now?
Yeah, those guys they're guys that are returning, that have had production, that we're going to lean on for a ton of production this year. We need them to have a voice, continue to create a voice, and lead the right way. That's the expectation for those two guys. They're doing that. We continue to need more from both of them, but excited about obviously their potential from a production standpoint and continue to lead for us.
We haven't had a chance to talk to Marquise Johnson yet, but in the limited practice periods we've seen, he seems to be a guy that flashes a little bit. What are you seeing in the full practice sessions?
A guy that does just that. He flashes. He made a really big play today in the 2-minute drill. He's made some big plays. We need to have consistency for him, all the newness, how we play, how we do what we do. We need him to continue to create consistency. He has flashed in some really, really good ways. So that's a conversation every day for him, man, the consistency and being able to go out and operate and execute the entire offense.
Along those lines, you kind of retooled your cornerback room. How has that maybe helped your receivers maybe refine their game a little bit?
It's night and day. There is unbelievable competition in that corners room right now, which I love. It's the best room we've had since we've been here. It's not close. So Kelly being able to lead that room and continue to bring those guys along. We've got several guys that are very, very capable, and so that's been really fun to watch. Got to continue to get them to grow the way we need them to, but love the competition we have in that room and how it's creating stress for the receivers every day.
We talked to Sam the other day. What do you see from him in that tight end room?
Yeah, Sam's a guy that I am really excited about. Talked about that through the year last year, and then as we've gotten into it in spring ball, and you know exactly what you're going to get. And Sam's going to continue to get better and better as he continues to get more and more comfortable being the guy, and love just who he is, man, his consistency and how he does what he does. So a guy that we're going to lean on in a great way. And with Skip backing him up and playing a bunch for us right now through the first 6 practices of the spring, Skip's another guy in that room that, man, we need to step up in a great way, and I think he's ready to go answer that.
It was announced this week about the plans for the spring scrimmage fan day.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great just, again, to be able to get our fan base engaged with our players post-scrimmage more than anything. Again, for our guys, man, just being incredibly thankful for the opportunity. For them having some fan experience there and being able to interact, I think will be great for both sides.
You had pro day yesterday. Obviously, scouts are going to reach out to guys like you to kind of get some intel on the guys. Who are some of the guys you're getting calls about?
Yeah, I mean, I am. I'm getting calls on a few of them. Obviously Brennan and what he's been able to do since the end of the year with his trip to Indy, and then having a really good day yesterday. Sadu is a guy that had a great day yesterday. He's continued to help himself in a great way. Obviously Blake had a really good day yesterday, threw it really, really well. And so answering questions for all of those guys on the defensive side of the ball, we are talking about Malik and Brilo and a couple of others. But excited for those guys. Yesterday was really good, had great representation from the NFL, which was great to see. And I think those guys are going to have the ability to go make a hand.
You've incorporated recruiting weekends around some of the baseball activities with the big crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
How does that help you kind of sell Mississippi State to kind of piggyback off baseball?
Man, it's invaluable. It really is. The last weekend was huge. You got a couple of big commits, obviously, that was big time. But again, our people being able to walk straight from the football facilities, spend time, hang out, and then walk over and go to baseball and be a part of a crowd like that. Obviously, the way we're playing, the way Coach Oaks got the group rolling right now is so fun for our fan base, our community, and all it does is create energy for us that we're fighting like heck to capitalize on from a recruiting standpoint. So those weekends are a huge advantage for us. We'll continue to lean into that and look for another great one today at 1:30.
You mentioned getting coaches on the field too. I mean, first scrimmage in the stadium with some new guys. Anybody particularly chatty on the headset, or how do you feel like communication went?
No, the communication piece of it's good. There's not a ton of talking, obviously, on the offensive side, so that's the side that I'm constantly on. And a day like today, when you don't have the ability to flip over because there's no breaks in between series, so it was status quo from that standpoint.
Along those lines, you got a couple of experienced guys, like Monty and Kevin, that have come in, kind of working on the throw and catch piece a little bit. What's their synergy been like?
It's been really, really good. I love that we have added two guys that have coordinated. Obviously, Monty, being a longtime head coach, his system knowledge of how we do what we do through the roof, the amount of trust there is, and his experiences are huge. And then KJ, man, doing it at a really high level for a long time, has had great production at the quarterback position, has called it, has put it all together. So that's been huge for me. Love where we're at from a staff standpoint. The room has been really, really good. We are much better today than we were, and I'm excited about that.
We're getting a lot of comments from recruits too about your assistants. Keevy Thompson and Deshaun Lindsay. Kind of maybe take me through their function and how active they've been in the recruiting process.
Yeah, I just think with the way college football is changing, guys that are in the assistant position roles have a chance to affect the program in a recruiting way that's different than maybe it once was. And so Desmond and Keevy have both been fabulous for us. They've got such great ties to our state. They know so many different people, and they're going about it and doing it the right way. So really good coaches on the grass, but are creating so much value for us as a program because of how they're recruiting daily. And so that's been really good for us.
So that was it for Jeff Lebby, a much more abbreviated one than what we'll have to deal with later. But that's because we've actually heard from Lebby a couple times since the end of last season. What did you hear there, though?
The first question is the one, and I kind of go into a lot more detail on tomorrow's Thunder and Lightning podcast, but the defense giving the offense trouble, a year ago that would have been a massive red flag. I would have looked at it and been like, they're in real trouble if that defense is giving the offense trouble. Now, with Arnett there and some of the talent they brought in, I at least can look at that and go, well, okay, that makes sense, right? Arnett, my guess is in practice, Arnett is throwing up stuff at Camario Taylor that he would never have even dreamed of. He's like, all right, young man, what are you going to do with this? I mean, we all know that Arnett loves to blitz. He loves these exotic formations. My guess is he's throwing them at Camario Taylor. And so if there's some struggle there, I don't necessarily see that as like a huge red flag like I would have a year ago with Coleman Hutzler running the show.
Sports Talk Mississippi. That was technically the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. And yet, point of order, most of the media were covering.
Three of the biggest question askers were not there.
Yeah.
So, kudos to those guys for picking up the slack.
Did a football presser on the Sunday of a baseball series.
Well, Saturday, but yeah, Saturday. 1:30 first pitch in Oxford and 11 a.m. Press conference. I couldn't be there.
Got to talk to the SID people. You got to space that out a little bit differently. But good stuff.
Yeah,
we'll be right back.
From theSeabrook.com, it's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you in international sports news. As you guys may know, the World Cup coming to the United States this summer. There's actually a friendly tonight if you want to watch
Portugal,
the United States play. Yeah.
By the Belgians. smoked us.
Yeah.
That's a good team, though. Belgium, good team.
That, and they subbed a lot of guys or whatever. But I'm tired of the excuses. Like, let's ramp up and get ready to play. I want to see better effort.
You start winning
tonight.
some games, yeah.
But we do know who we're going to play in our third game. So Turkey had to beat Kosovo. Where is Kosovo?
It's one of the former Yugoslavian. It's part of what used to be Yugoslavia, like Serbia, Croatia, that area. It's the Eastern Europe.
You can get there for the low price of $1,300 from Jackson, if you'd like to go. According to Google,
I'm sure it's a beautiful country.
Google thought that I was looking it up to visit there.
To visit, no.
Yeah.
I mean, if I go that far, I'm definitely going. I'm going to hood up my buddy Stefan Krajnik, and we'll go to Serbia and all that stuff.
Yeah, they declared their independence from Serbia in 2008. So a very new country, but nonetheless, they lost to Turkey. So Turkey will be in our group with Paraguay and Australia. But more interesting is, so there's been a bunch of World Cup qualifiers today. The United States already in, a bunch of countries already in, but there's like play-in games basically for the final spots. Mm-hmm. Italy, a superpower in the sport, 16 years ago and before, have missed 2 consecutive World Cups. They had to win today against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia and her whatever.
Bosnia Herzegovina.
Herzegovina.
Yeah.
Herzegovina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. What'd you call me? They had to beat them today to get in.
They did not.
And they did not.
So, if you're listening, you're like, what does this mean?
Compare that in football terms.
Georgia missing 3 straight college football playoffs.
And needing to beat Furman to get in.
In the last game, they had to. Furman's probably not the best example, but having to beat Troy to get in. All they got to do is beat Troy, and they get in, and they couldn't do it. Yeah. Italy has the second most World Cups all time, and now they've missed 3 in a row. So, yeah, really rough day for the Italians.
I won't miss them. I won't miss them. I'm good without them. This story's more enjoyable anyway. But, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
International sports news.
There's still plenty of great teams. So
somebody says real football analogy. Yeah, so, yeah, hey, you just gave them one.
I gave you one.
Yeah,
Georgia
being 11-0.
Well, no. It'd be like they were 10-1, and for some reason their last game of the season was against Troy.
Yeah.
And all they got to do is win that, and you go to the college football playoff, and they don't.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, man.
Tough.
That's
especially,
really tough.
That nation is soccer crazy. They live, breathe it. Serie A is such a huge league, legendary teams and players, and this is 3. It's so funny. They won the Euros 4 years ago. So they won the European Championship.
But that didn't matter.
But that doesn't give you qualification to the World Cup. So
maybe it should, but that's whatever.
It didn't.
Also,
Italy is now a baseball powerhouse, no longer soccer.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Did you see that the espresso machine in their dugout sold for like $50,000 in auction?
That's so funny. That's just
but here's
great.
the thing. Hey,
who needs it? Who you just buy an espresso machine? By the way,
that's not an impressive item to own. Like if I went to a billionaire's house and he was showing me all of his memorabilia and he's like, "Here's a pair of Michael Jordan game-worn shoes." Like, a Babe Ruth bat.
Right.
And here's the espresso machine that the Italian team in the World Baseball Classic
I am pleased
used.
that after all our pronunciation issues last week, you are saying espresso.
Yeah. I know that one.
Not espresso.
I am a coffee guy.
Good man. The Italians, those guys from on Instagram won't come after us.
Did people on Instagram come after us?
There's these 2 Italian guys that
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I've seen those guys.
They'll travel. They'll come get you.
But who wants, that's not an impressive item to own. Regardless of how much money you have, okay, guy, why would you have that in your collection of all things that you could have bought with your money?
Yeah, it's not even probably an elite espresso machine. It's probably, it's a pretty common one.
And it's not like Italy had a bunch of players that you're like, hey, this guy.
It's not even autographed.
It's like, what's the point?
It's just you're just saying you have it.
Laundering money through the auction.
Here's what's fun. Exactly. Here's what's funny is like I could say anything. Like, hey, Borkey, I don't know if you know this or not. This half-drank Coke Zero was from the Italian dugout. Did you know that? I paid $75,000 for it.
Loser.
It's still cold.
What?
I mean, what are we doing here?
And if I was a billionaire, there'd be a lot of sports memorabilia things that I would buy, and that would not be one.
Yeah, it's so far down the list. Like I would have bought a lot more before I got to. Wait, what? Also, so it went to auction, which means somebody was willing to bid $49,000. So I was willing to bid
there's multiple
48,000.
people bidding on the espresso machine.
A bunch of people who just really wanted that espresso machine. I'm not one of them, though. It might have been a charity auction item, and that's very true, but I'd rather just donate $50,000 to charity than
hey, St. Jude, here's a check
machine.
for $50,000. I don't even need
I'll
the espresso machine.
just take the tax write-off. I don't need an espresso machine.
Yeah. I would feel dumb using that as like my cover. Oh, it's for charity. Well, why don't you just write the check?
Yeah.
You bought an espresso machine.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What the hell is a baseball team doing with an espresso machine? Well, they were Italian.
They were the Italian team.
What do you want?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like the Americans having a Traeger in their dugout.
Can you imagine? Aaron Judge strikes out. He's like, it's all right. I need to check the meat anyway. He's got breaks a probe thermometer out. He's like, it's 175. It's still got a ways to go. It's in the stall. Somebody get me some foil.
Pardon My Take had a great topic idea. Shout out to those guys. They're still on top of their game, decade plus into the podcast game. The highest approval rating sports things that happen. One of the, like they were talking about in the context of Duke getting beat on a buzzer beater. Like that is a universally, the approval rating on that is like 99%.
Very high, yes.
One of them, they said Aaron Judge striking out has a really high approval rating because he's a Yankee.
Yeah. He's a nice guy, though. He seems like a good guy.
He does seem like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's definitely less. I don't like him because I thought he was going to sign with the Giants a couple years ago, and I got pulled under the rug out from underneath me.
I've never cheered harder for strikeouts when ESPN cut into college football games to show Aaron Judge at bats when he was chasing the not home run record.
It was very annoying.
What a clear demonstration that ESPN does not understand their audience, then cutting into college football games to full screen and Aaron Judge at bat as he's chasing the not home
it's
run record.
Not even the home run record. The American League home run record. Who cares?
Nobody cares. Not one person.
If you're not hitting 73, you don't have the record, buddy. Yeah. I'm sorry.
The end of the bench walk on. The guy that's there just to get A's for the team GPA, hitting a 3 late in a game, that's
nearly 100% approval rating. 100%.
They said Jameis Winston
has a very high approval rating.
He does.
Everybody loves him, which is crazy when you think about him in college, where nearly everybody hated him. Everybody was like, this guy sucks. He doesn't get it. He's going to squander all of his talent. And yeah, maybe he didn't have the NFL career people projected, but he has at least become he is a guy who will have a long career in broadcasting because he's just likable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
who has
So apparently it did go to charity. The Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center.
That's appreciate that.
But just make a donation, guys. You don't have to have
or find something better than the espresso machine.
I mean, they got $50,000 out of it.
But you could have gotten 55 from something better, I would assume.
Yeah.
What do you think he's doing? Do you think he's using the espresso machine, or did he create a display for it?
That's a great question.
I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well display it, right?
I wouldn't use it, yeah. Because then what if it breaks? And it's like, I got to sink more money into this?
Yeah. I'm with you. I am with you. Sports Talk
I wouldn't mess with. I would just put it away. Wait, let's put it like this: if you spent big money on a pair of, I assume it's got to be on display. Like if you spent big money on a football, like an autographed football, Drew Brees, it's autographed by Drew Brees and Tracy Porter and Reggie Bush, right? All the Super Bowl Saints. You're not throwing that ball around the backyard.
No.
So same thing here, right? You buy this piece of memorabilia, you put it in a place of honor.
I regret to inform you, Hadad, that the United States national team is not putting out the true A lineup tonight either. I guess they're trying to. He's trying to figure out who's going to make the back end of his World Cup roster, and I think they have 2 more friendlies coming up before the World Cup, but still, I would like to see just the full A squad just play together and play well.
You need to do that.
That's what I want.
You need to have them out there and give them, 80 minutes together.
But Sebastian Berhalter is going to play tonight, and he's going to make the team, but he's like one of the final cut guys, so I get it. But also, can I just watch you guys play well once, please? We'll be back.
From the Venable Sports Talk Mississippi, your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Fun to have one of my favorite debates here on Sports Talk Mississippi.
Yeah.
Here on the C-Spire text line. Why can't the men's national team be better? Just based on the U.S. population, the quality of athletes alone, the men's team should be phenomenal. It's just a lack of interest in soccer here. To answer your question, yes. It's as simple as that. Like, these are, at best, our third tier of athletes, right? The NFL and the NBA are getting better athletes than the soccer team is. And so if you look at the NFL and you took all of the skill position guys, and from the time they were 5, and same with the NBA, from the time they were 5 years old, you put them through an academy and they were playing soccer every day of their life, the U.S. would win every World Cup by 10-0 every single game. I mean, think about right now, and we've tried this, I think we've done this thought exercise before. But like, think about the running backs and the wide receivers, Wide receivers would be your strikers, getting up for the headers and all that. Those guys would outleap everybody. Your defensive backs are your back 4, and your midfielders. Running backs are probably midfielders and your wingers, and then your keeper. Like right now, your keeper would be.
Imagine an athlete like Zion Williamson.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like
we
might be in the last World Cup of LeBron James as the keeper. Like
he might be a touch too tall, but
I don't know, man. But he's so athletic, like 6'9" with that kind of wingspan. Who's getting a shot past him?
Every set piece is just his.
He's just claiming them, a guy like Durant, he's probably a little too tall.
Yeah.
But
think about every 6'6" to 6'9" wing in the NBA.
Yeah, all of a sudden those guys are your center halves.
Oh my gosh!
You're not getting in. You're not getting in.
No.
So yeah, that's the issue.
And it is getting better. The talent pool is increasing. The lack of academy system's a problem. The colleges don't. That's not the best path for player development either. Is going to college. They don't play enough games. They're trying to change it to have a year-round schedule instead of a seasonal schedule. With they play very few games in college too. So they're working on it, but it's a long process, and the organization at the top of U.S. soccer is really bad.
It is.
It's not structured, and they're fixing it just way too slow.
Somebody like Gronk as a goalie. Again, that's another one. He's so athletic and so big. He's really difficult to get shots past him.
Yeah. But yeah, it is getting better. I brought up the Q rating thing because the Kelsey brothers, specifically Jason, more so than Travis. Mm-hmm. Jason has a really high Q rating. He was a great player. Was a great story. Mm-hmm. Undersized, not highly recruited. Was a really small center in the NFL, but he was just tough and physical, and everybody, like players, media, everybody loved him. He retires. He kind of introduces his family to the world. He's got a really funny and interesting wife, and he seems like a cool dad, and has this podcast with his brother, and everybody likes Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
There's too much Jason Kelsey. It was announced by ESPN earlier that he is going to be the on-course reporter. Now, it's just for the par 3 contest. but Jason Kelsey is going to have a microphone at the Masters on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's silliness. I mean, it would be like it's not as bad as if McAfee is another one who's a little overexposed. He would be worse for the Masters, but like, not everything. This is how you dry up the well. You just keep drawing water from it. Like, at some point, just let this guy do some NFL stuff. Let him have his podcast. We don't have to put everybody on everything. Not everybody has to do everything.
And again, he seems nice. But he was on the TGL, and ESPN thought it went great. I thought it sucked. He's not a golf guy, and that's okay. He doesn't have to be, but the Masters is one of the few things that have not been totally infiltrated by, like, Grant Horvath. Like, there's still a lot of tradition in it. Frankly, it's really pretentious. And it's almost a redeeming quality of the tournament. It's so traditional and so regimented and perfect. And then you got Jason Kelsey going to take his shirt off at some point like he does all the time. Like, the Masters doesn't need him, ESPN. Put him on College Game Day. He's perfect for College Game Day. Send him out at the tailgate areas and do TV hits with him at College Game Day. We don't need him at the Masters.
Agreed.
Give me a golf guy. That's who. Somebody that respects and understands the delicacy of the tradition of the most pretentious event in the world. Man. I like him. I don't like it.
I think Michael Borkey should get the par 3.
I would love that, but it's a bit above my pay grade. Coming up after the news, college football fix. I was going to do a fun, like, here's what coaches, how much they spend on private jet flights. Trinidad Chambliss had an interesting quote in a media opportunity earlier today. We'll play it for you when we come back.
In Mississippi sports, you'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Hour 3 already, Sports Talk Mississippi. So glad that you guys are with us. I'm Michael Borkey. He is Brian Hadad. Always glad that you guys are with us. We talked baseball in the first hour. Ole Miss did get a win today over Little Rock. Mississippi State's got a game coming up tonight. We also have a lineup out. We'll tell you that about that here in just a little bit. Actually, Hadad, you know what? Before we get into, go ahead and put that lineup out there. Mississippi State Grambling tonight. Is there any changes that we anticipated them making because of the nature of the game?
No. In fact,
wow.
It's basically the same starting lineup State's been rolling with, just a little tweak here and there with the batting order. Aiden Teal will lead off and play center. Ace Reese, the only Bulldog who has started every game, bats second but plays third. Noah Sullivan's your DH. He'll bat third. I'm sorry, Noah Sullivan bats third. Ace Reese bats second but plays third. I think I screwed that up. Reed Stallman's the cleanup man. He's the first baseman. Jacob Parker up to fifth in the order, the right fielder. Ryder Woodson at shortstop batting sixth. Garrick Fry, second baseman, he'll bat seventh. Kevin Milewski, who I think they're calling Moose. I like that.
Okay.
He'll catch and bat eighth. And then, of course, Bryce Chance, bottom of the order, but top of the SEC batting standings, playing left field. And on the mound for the Bulldogs, as Coach O'Connor told us just yesterday, Chris Billingsley Jr., the right-hander, will go for the Bulldogs. But they do expect to see a number of arms in this game. And what, if everything goes according to plan, should be a seven inning game for Mississippi State. And real quick, we got the Southern Miss starting lineup here as well as they take on Southeastern Louisiana. Seth Smith is leading off for the Golden Eagles tonight and playing shortstop. Joey Urban's in center. He'll bat second. Kyle Morrison playing second but batting third. Davis Gillespie is the cleanup man, playing left field. Matthew Russo is at first. He'll bat fifth. Ben Higdon in right. He'll bat sixth. Dre Barrett is the third baseman. He'll bat seventh. Gray Eubanks, the DH, batting eighth. Tucker Stockman in the 9 hole. He'll be behind the plate. And on the mound, again, as Coach Ostrander told us yesterday, Cross Sibley gets the start for the Golden Eagles.
All right, those are your lineups, and this is your college football fix.
The college football fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford tough. That's what the best-selling truck in America is, the Ford F-150. Don't mess around, guys. If you're looking right now for a brand new truck, there's only one place to go, one place to shop. That's America's best. Your Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You'll hear from Pete Golding coming up in a little bit. Again, he talked for 27 minutes. We cannot,
We'll finish this segment, and I'll get out of here, and life is good.
We cannot play the entire thing for you. It's on the Ole Miss YouTube channel, though, if you want to watch the whole thing. He covered a lot. I don't know if what we'll play for you will cover his answer about Dabo and Luke Ferrelli, but that's an interesting one. I think that there is a comfort.
Just pay the whole thing.
I think there's a comfort with the situation there. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I read out of that. But also, Trinidad Chambliss talked to the media after practice. He was asked, what are the differences between your previous head coach and your new one? Here was his answer.
Different under Golding than the previous coach?
I would say, just, the personalities are a little different than, our old coach and, Coach Golding. I'd say he's more of like a team guy. And we really value, his leadership, whatever he says. He's kind of show you fast as I could tell, or he's show you fast as I could tell you. He leads by his actions, and, we really appreciate that.
So not much there. Now, as you can imagine, the folks down in Louisiana are losing their crap over that.
They're punching air.
Two things. First, he was asked and he answered. So I'm not blaming anybody. I would say, if it were me, if I were making the decisions, if I were the media person giving them advice, if you get asked about Lane, just, hey, I'm focused on this season.
Yeah.
Moving forward, that's why I wouldn't answer.
But that's not that question wasn't really about Lane.
It wasn't. It's a good answer, and your fans are.
It's a fair question, in my opinion.
It's a fair question, and your fans are going to like the answer. But I would have a meeting with the guys. Hey, if you get asked about Lane anymore, just dismiss it. Hey, I'm focused on right here, right now. Not worried about what happened last year and all that stuff. That would be my stock answer. But this is the 15th, 20th Ole Miss player that went through what they went through last season that have had a similar sentiment. And hey, we talked about it a bunch, and I think sometimes people just, as evidenced by our text line at the time, just choose not to believe you when you say things. Mm-hmm. It is a miracle, in a way, that they beat South Carolina and Florida and Mississippi State with how truly checked out their head coach was. There's a reason we talked about team leadership so much and how important that was for that team in particular, because there were missed meetings. There were practices where if a player was asked, was Lane there? He didn't know right away. He had to think about it. Like, was Coach there? I didn't talk to him. Like an offensive lineman had that response. Wait, I don't know. Was he? That's how checked out their head coach was. After they beat Florida, Monday team meeting, wasn't there. Nobody knew. Just coach isn't here. Why? I don't know. Completely and totally checked out. And so when Xavier Harris at the Combine is asked about that, and his answer is, I didn't even know the guy. Believe them when they say that. And maybe it changes for him when he goes to Baton Rouge. I know we've got LSU fans that listen. Maybe he'll be locked in this time. But it's still, knowing what we know now, and frankly what we knew at the time, it's not surprising that the team didn't play worse after he left in the playoff. In fact, they played better after he left. And it's a miracle that they beat South Carolina, Florida, and Mississippi State, considering how absolutely, totally checked out their head coach was during that time. If you don't believe me, believe the dozen or so players that have spoken on this publicly at this point. I don't know how they pulled it off. Bunch of old dudes on that team. That's really how. And then Pete Golding helped them hold it together. But looking back, I can't believe they got to where they got, considering what was going on.
Well, I think you kind of said it there. Like that was a team that had great team leadership, great player leadership. Obviously Chambliss and Lacey, but you had Xavier Harris, the guy who's been an Ole Miss Rebel since day one, right? That's where he's been his whole career. You had that with on the defensive side, especially Eccles, Franklin, Perkins. These are all guys who that's where they committed to out of high school, and they're Mississippi guys. By and large, all four of those guys I just mentioned are Mississippi guys. So that played a role in it, I'm sure. I mean, they just had veteran leadership. It doesn't hurt that they were very talented. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, certainly, that, there was a ton of distraction. The Florida, Mississippi State, at the end of the day, State was not talented enough to beat Ole Miss. They could have been 10 times more distracted. It didn't really matter. But Florida, that could have gone the other way.
It almost did.
It almost did for us. It looked like it might for a second there. So
that was a team that was not ready to play that night. And they just overcame it because they were better and they had good quarterback play. Yeah, somebody says he seemed pretty checked in during the Egg Bowl. Yeah, when he was lying about a jersey getting stolen.
Clip it! I'm clipping that. That's getting tweeted out tomorrow.
By
the way, did you know that they made a reference to that at the game Friday?
No.
So Trinidad was at the game, right?
Yeah.
And Glenn Waddle said, and he's got his jersey. And I was just
really?
Because he never had it. He never didn't have it. I almost ran down there to yell at him.
Billy says it's not a miracle. This is what I was getting at. It's hyperbole in the miracle statement. The team had good leaders and position coaches, so it didn't matter. Yes, that's my point, though, is it was a veteran team, and they were able to overcome that. But when you think about what they dealt with, it doesn't mean that they're going to win. It doesn't mean that because Pete Golding actually invests in them personally that they're going to win more or win the same. It doesn't mean that at all. And it doesn't mean LSU's not going to win. But it certainly is a great example of what we spent the fall talking about. It could have gone the
other way. It could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tulane, that was always going to be a win. Like, almost just so much better than them, so much more talented. Playing that game at home, no chance to lose it. But Georgia could have easily gone the other way, right? And it didn't. And so you have to give credit where it's due. They played good football for sure.
Yeah. Somebody says he was so bad they would have paid $15 million to keep him. He wasn't bad. He was a great coach. At the end, he checked out. A not checked out Lane Kiffin wins a bunch of games.
This is one of those two things can be true at the same time.
Absolutely.
And I say it all the time. If the guy would check in, if he would be normal, he'd be better than Saban.
And when he was checked in, he was awesome at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But once he decided he was out long before physically he actually left town. It's not hard to understand those two things being they're not mutually exclusive things. But interesting quote there. Sports Talk Mississippi. That's your college football fix, driven by Ford.
From the Venable Glen, Mississippi, on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi. So glad that you guys are here. We heard from Jeff Lebby a little bit earlier for the second time during spring practice. So it was a little bit shorter than Pete Golding today, who, by the way, gave, hey, Dad, you're going to love this, a 3-minute and 30-second opening statement Pete Golding gave to the media today. I skipped through that to get to the Q&A portion of his press conference, but this is the first time that we've heard from Pete Golding since the playoff, and a lot has happened between now and then. It's a long conversation. It's on
between then and now.
Then and now. Did I say now and then?
Yeah.
Well, I guess whatever.
I just want to mess with you.
But the entire thing is available on Ole Miss's YouTube channel. I would encourage you Ole Miss fans to listen to the entire thing. It is long, but it's packed with information, and we'll get to some of that with you right now. Here's Pete Golding on the Farm Bureau guest line.
exactly does the process of the quarterback two battle look like? What are you looking for? And, just kind of take us through that.
Yeah. I mean, I think at every position, obviously a lot of people are going to focus on that one. But I think you've got to develop your roster, obviously across the board. And that was my big concern from a recruiting standpoint was the depth, right, at a lot of positions. To where I felt like, over the past couple of years since I've been here, there was a drastic difference between the first guy and the second one. And I think, with this schedule that we have and going to 9 games in the SEC, and when you get competitive, obviously the season extends, it's hard to stay healthy throughout that whole process. And so normally it happens towards the end of the year, which are the most important games, right? And then you don't have a guy, right, from a skill set standpoint that can play winning football in the SEC or the playoffs, and it's a problem. And so, last year at this time, nobody in here would have thought our number 2 going into the season was going to be the starter at the end of the year, right, and have the year that he had. So you don't know. And so I think that's the biggest thing for all of our guys, that they're preparing every day versus themselves, right? And we're trying to better our best every day. And we're all got room for improvement, right, whether we're the starter last year or not. So I'm not going to not sit here and say, oh, there's a real battle and all. I mean, Trinidad's our quarterback. Don't get it twisted, right? But, no, a lot of things happen in this sport. So those guys are working their butt off. And obviously it's a competition at all spots. We talk about trying to play winning football. All right, and if you make more plays for us than you do against us, you're going to play. All right, obviously that's a unique position, right, where there's not a rotation like other spots and all those things. But you better have a guy that you can play winning football on deck in case something does happen. So we've got a couple guys in that room right now that are really competing, working really hard. I think it's really nice to have a guy that has been in the system come back. Obviously from a knowledge standpoint being one thing, but such a good dude. Right, and just showing you how to do it, right, and how to prepare for a meeting and how to pay attention in a meeting and how to practice. And so I think that development phase, not only for Maddox but for Deuce as well, I think is really important in that room. And then to add a veteran like Walker Howard, right, that had been here, that had been in the system, that has transferred, that went through an injury, just the maturity of that. He loves Oxford. He loves Ole Miss. He's really, really smart, so he helps those guys as well. So really like the balance in there. All right, from an athletic standpoint, and then obviously from an experience standpoint, but more importantly, the maturity of how to do it, how to lead, and how to be a leader for this team.
Obviously, an eventful offseason for Trinidad. Just how have you seen him handle everything that was kind of thrown his way over the last few months?
Yeah, I think he's done an unbelievable job just focusing on what he could control, and obviously with the case from the very beginning, a lot of people in that camp felt really good, obviously about him being able to play 4 years. So there was never a major concern, but I think obviously everything has uncertainty, right? And he still is a kid, right? So I think, the longer that it went, start becoming a little uneasy, and I'm not going to speak for him. It's like, all right, I got this NFL looming over me, right? Do I need to start preparing for that? Am I here with the guys, right, trying to be the starting quarterback and be the leader that we need? So his maturity is off the chart, and the ability to focus and be where his feet are. So I thought he handled it like a pro. There was never any issues. Throughout it, we were going to balance it and say, hey, we got to prepare for both, right? Because we really don't know. We feel good about it, but obviously still go out there and develop it, work with your quarterback coach and do all those things to where, if it's not good news like we think, then you can go that route. But it has been awesome. He's got a really good family around him, really good camp. So it was pretty easy, to be honest with you.
Pete, you kind of restocked the running back room behind Keywan. What kind of led into that, really getting more bodies back there? Was it have to do with his injury too, and just, the holding him up over a 16-game schedule? What do you like about that room and those players and getting that depth and adding in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing in that room is that they're different skill sets, and I think you have to have the ability to run the football in this league, I think, to win the ones that you really need to win. And obviously the durability of that position, right, and the things that we ask them to do. But, I was used to being around a running back room that, they had a guy that didn't even start a game his whole career and went in the first round, right? There was different packages based on skill sets, right, and a lot of things that you could do that provide a lot of issues from a defensive standpoint, right, based on how they do. And they could catch it out of the backfield, a power runner, a scat back. So I thought it was important to have balance in there with different skill sets, as well as having experience. And I think that's the big thing coming into this league. You're going to play in big games week in and week out. Right, you better, the moment better not be too big. And so obviously we love the opportunity of having guys that had experience, playing winning football at that position, regardless of the level. And that back, I mean, we're not looking for him to carry it 35, 40 times. He's not going to make it, and so we want him to be explosive. We want to put him in a good position, but when he comes out, we don't want them to know we're throwing the ball, right? So we want to have the ability to still run the football effectively, right, regardless whether he's in the game or not. So I thought it was really important, and then obviously bringing in Frank at that position, that's had the ability to develop a lot of running backs over the years in a lot of different places, I thought, really helped as well.
Obviously, Dabo Swinney was pretty vocal about his version of events, how Luke Farrelly got here. Just wanted to give you a chance to, ask, did it all go down like he said, and what was your kind of reaction to being called out?
Yeah, obviously I think there's two sides to every story, right? And so I'm not going to sit up here and use the podium as a grandstand and all that, right? That's why there is enforcement. That's why we have a compliance office, right? That they do all that. So, the bottom line of the recruitment of Luke, he came on an official visit, right, prior to the Fiesta Bowl. And I told him, hey, I want you to be our green dot Mike, but right now we got a green dot Mike. Right, and that spot's not going to be available until we don't have, until we have one available. And so I want you. He wants to be here. I said, but right now there ain't a spot available. So if that spot becomes available, it's yours. Right. So it's a kid that wanted to be here, that we wanted to be here, that at the end of it came open, and he's here, and we're happy to have him.
Coach, I wanted to you had to have a quick turnaround in hiring Marcus Woodson to come help out with your defense. What was the process in hiring him, and just what went into the decision to make him a part of your defensive staff?
Yeah, so Marcus was actually here a little bit in December, so we were going to bring him on as an analyst coming from the school that he came from. He was still under contract, and then had an unbelievable opportunity for him and his family, right, come up from K-State that obviously financially he had to do. But it was a guy that I noticed, I'd always recruited against Marcus over the years, admired and respected him a lot from a coach and from a person standpoint. But the limited time that I was around him on December, the way he impacted the players and the rapport with the players and the type of dude and the energy and the attitude and the body language and everything that came with it, I was so impressed. And it was a dude that you knew when he was here, he loved Ole Miss. Right, and this is really where he wanted to be. It just couldn't present itself at that time. And so, when we had Coach Tony going to the Atlanta Falcons, which is an unbelievable opportunity for him, I knew that was my guy. Obviously, we went through the interview process to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. But it was another guy that I wanted with back end experience. I think it's really important to continue to develop the back end. We took a lot of transfers that need a lot of attention, right, and getting caught up to speed. So I think it's really important to have three guys back there on a consistent basis. Because the way the recruiting calendar is now, I never not want a coach in here, right? Because when we talk about recruiting, we talk about developing players. So I don't want there to be a day that anybody can walk in here and not get developed, right, and not be able to watch tape. So I thought it was really important to be able to have some flexibility with some of those guys to keep them in-house, because I think Marcus is an elite recruiter because I've recruited against him. And it's a guy that's been here. So I knew from the recruiting component, being an alumni, and then his knowledge when I was around him, I knew he was going to bring value for us. So we're super excited to have him.
It's early, but what do you kind of make of your transfer class, and did your approach to the portal, how much did that change going from defensive coordinator to head coach?
Yeah, obviously I think you don't look at it any differently. You're just looking at, every phase now. But I think, number one, you're looking, all right, what holes do we have that we can't replace with our current roster, that we need to bring in from an experience standpoint. And then obviously, all right, what guys do we have that we don't have quality depth behind that we feel like could come in and really push, right, and be a rotational piece. So I think a lot goes into it. But most importantly, I think, the guys that are tough, competitive, and love football. And I think that's the biggest difference, in my opinion, is the way we recruit. We don't sugarcoat things. We know Oxford ain't perfect, Ole Miss ain't perfect, and I damn sure ain't perfect. Right? And we're not trying to hide anything, and we tell them exactly how it's going to be. And we're here to develop you as a player and a man, and this group is just like those guys that were like there last year.
So we got to cut it off there, unfortunately. Again, the entire thing is...
You heard it there,
available.
Ole Miss fans. Oxford ain't perfect. He said it. I didn't say it. Pete Golding said it.
Right, he said it, right. And,
right.
Right, we're going to keep working hard on
I
right.
tell you what, between him and
left
O'Connor, you don't get into a drinking game of saying right.
You know what I've noticed, though? I say right.
I say I have a crutch. I can't remember it. It's one of the things, if I hear myself say it,
I'll go, I have one. I'll start a set. See, right there.
Yeah.
It's just one or two repeating of the first letter, and I don't like that either. But his answer on Farrelly was, I'm not going to get behind a podium and grandstand, because that's what Dabo did. But it didn't seem like he was too concerned about anything happening to him in that regard. And yeah, there you go. Pete Golding on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook.com. The best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Somebody on the text line says your crutch is so Hadad.
Apparently so. No pun intended.
Got him. I've got a lot of them.
I think it's one of those things like I'll hear it and I'll know that I'm saying it. So, there it was.
Yeah.
So, and now I can't stop. Now it's a stutter.
I'd have a lot of uhs, like next.
You know what your crutch is? I'll tell you what it is. You ready?
Got a lot of them, so
yours
it won't surprise me.
Yours is 601-879-4395.
The C-Spire text line.
That's your crutch, though. You'll be talking, and then you're not quite sure where to go next.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here, and you'll just throw this text line number out there. I'm like, all right, he's the gears are turning. He'll change topics here in a second.
That does help, though.
Yeah. Well, you've got it to go back to.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So there you go. There you go. See, I'm not doing it.
I talked you out of it there.
You tell me.
I got you out of it there. So we go. I just saw a tweet. This is. I don't know who this person is, but somebody I know retweeted it. It's this person. I can't tell if they're like they can't. I don't know. It just says that sources Connor Griffin will be called up for Game 1 of the homestand for the Pirates. Of course, Connor Griffin, the native Mississippian who was a top pick in the draft.
Gosh, how old is he? Like
this is his second year. This is his second year of pro baseball. He did 1 year in the minors. He's already in AAA. He will definitely be on the main roster sooner rather than later. I can't tell if this is a legit thing or not, though.
So I'm not seeing anything upon Google, but I do see a column written that says the Pirates must promote him for their home opener. And also Pittsburgh Baseball Now also saying the same thing, that they need to go ahead and promote him. That's outstanding.
He is an elite. I'll say it one more time. Elite prospect. Can do it all. So
I regret to inform all of you listening that the soon-to-be or already big leaguer for the Pirates was born in 2006.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not. Is he 20 yet? What's his birthday?
He will be 20 in 24 days. Happy early birthday, Connor.
So April 23rd?
April 24th.
April 24th. Yeah. Already going to be a big leader.
He was born in 2006.
I mean, when we had him on the podcast, we had him on this show last year, right after the draft. And talking to him, I remember, like, so mature. So for an 18-year-old, I was like, he was more mature than I am right now. I was just listening to him talk. I was like, this kid, if the talent is where I think it is going to be a major leaguer for a long, long time. And I mean, think about it like this. So he's 19, right? He may be a major leaguer at 19. You're talking about a guy who's going to play, assuming everything goes the way it should. And his first year in the minors makes it look like that's going to be the case. He's going to play for, it's 2026. You're going to be in 2040 still talking about this guy as one of the top players in baseball, probably. Yeah. That's kind of career he's looking at right now.
So last season, fresh out of high school graduation, I assume he went to prom, right? Probably had a really nice time at prom.
I'm sure.
Leaves prom.
Yeah.
Goes in place for 3 different minor league teams last year: the Bradenton Marauders, the Greensboro Grasshoppers, and the Altoona Curve. 122 games he played last season. He hit .333 with 21 home runs and 94 RBI and stole 65 bases. He was 18 years old doing some of this stuff.
Playing guys who have been in the minors, who have been playing pro baseball. And so now he's, plus you're the Pirates, right? I'm going to Hubie Brown this and talk in the second person. You're the Pittsburgh Pirates. You got nothing going on. Nobody cares about your team. You have a great stadium, but that's it. You got internet fan groups trying to buy the team just to save them from your horrible organization. What do you got to lose? Bring a guy up that the fans can get excited about. You've got him and Skeens. That is
O'Neal Cruz.
When he's not, lagging for fly balls. You got Mangum. Mangum, say what you want about him. He'll get fans excited because he plays hard.
You've got bring me to the ballpark
You've
type
got
players.
if you've got Griffin, you put Griffin in there, people are going to be like, I want to see what this kid can do.
And then maybe they win. I don't know. What a novel concept that would be.
Now, that would be something.
Is, having a team and then trying to win with it. But that's incredible. I mean, think about
he is a special talent. I remember when he committed to LSU, and I was just like, it's great for the headlines, but he will never play a single at-bat of college baseball.
Look, I know at the high school level in Mississippi, there's a lot of great players, a lot of great teams, a lot of great coaching, the travel ball circuit, a lot of that. He's faced a lot of good players. He was facing 16-year-old little Timmy.
Yeah.
Last year. Kid that, his parents have to get on him because he doesn't do his homework enough after school.
You're right.
Now he's about to go play in the majors. To that, Bryce Harper didn't acclimate that quickly.
Did not.
He was awesome, but it took him longer.
Yeah. And again, kind of part of it is I think the Pirates play a role in this. Like, they need to sell tickets, right? So bringing up this super prospect gets people interested. God forbid he hits a home run in his first at bat. We won't be able to stop the narratives. But I don't think the narratives are false, though. I think this is a guy who's going to play a long, long time in Major League Baseball. Another great Mississippi baseball player, and put him on the list of guys that have made their impact in the big leagues, coming through the high school ranks in Mississippi.
For sure. We brought up the Tiger Woods story earlier. He entered a not guilty plea. Seemingly will get out of the DUI, but problems persist. He has just released a statement.
Yeah.
I know and understand the seriousness of the situation I find myself in today. I'm stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery. I'm committed to taking the time needed to return in a healthier, stronger, and more focused place, both personally and professionally. I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for privacy from my family, loved ones, and myself at this time. Signed, Tiger. I hope you mean it, brother, because that's a really good start. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Stepping away, seeking treatment, recovery, which is a big word in the addiction world.
It's just smart.
Good, man.
You're not gonna play in the Masters, man. Take some time off. Get yourself healthy. Live the rest of your life. You have a son who's about to start his golf career. You're going to have grandkids. Be there to enjoy them. All right, there are more important things. Your legacy in golf is done. You don't have to worry about that. We will always forever debate, was he the greatest golfer of all time? And there will be people who believe that he was, and there will be people who believe that he's not, but he's second. Right? If you're talking about greatest golfers of all time, he's not going further than second. Right? It's him or Nicklaus. So, maybe one day Scheffler can get his way up there. I don't know. Your legacy is secure. You've made billions of dollars. You're never going to have to work a day in your life, man. Go live that life and get yourself healthy so you can truly enjoy it. I hope that's the case.
Yeah. So good news. Good news there.
Yeah.
We are Sports Talk Mississippi. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. Again, another point of order. Just want to remind you, because I know we will get the tweets and the emails and stuff. No show on Friday. It's Good Friday. We are taking the day off. We're going to spend it with our families. And so, yeah, I know there are games Thursday night. If you want reaction to Mississippi State, Georgia, Game 1, Thunder and Lightning is what it's called, wherever you get your podcast. If you want reaction to Game 1 of Ole Miss and Florida, Rebel Report, wherever you get your podcast, and you can get us reacting to the games there. But in terms of 3 hours of radio on Good Friday afternoon, that will not be what we do.
You say
then.
By the way, you say that I'll be with my family. I'll be with Coach Jeff Levy on Friday. He's speaking to the media.
On Good Friday?
Yeah, after they're scrimmaging Friday.
So you have a media op when your media's at the baseball game.
Yeah, so now we're gonna have one on Good Friday.
Come on, guys.
They're messing. They're trolling me at this point. I think.
Apparently so.
I'll do Levy in the morning, and then we have baseball that evening. It'll be fine.
601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. Be a part of the show. That's how you do it. And speaking of the show, we will wrap it up with you next. Don't go anywhere.
From the Venable Glass
97.3.
Everyone, give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
One thing that we'll need to talk about more throughout spring and summer, the quarterbacks in the state and having an offseason. Because think about it. Despite the age differences, Mario Taylor did not have an offseason last year of being the guy.
Yeah.
It was Blake Shapen's team
right
until the very end.
Same at Ole Miss.
Trinidad did not have an offseason. He joined the team late, and it was Austin Simmons' team up until the point where it was not.
Right.
And so now he also has a full offseason to be the guy in preparation for a season.
Yeah.
I have a feeling...
A little different for Trinidad because he did do, not in terms of the amount of media scrutiny, but he was the guy at Ferris State for a year, so he has that. But Camario,
still,
yeah, the last time he was the guy, he was getting ready to lead Noxubee County.
A little bit different in the SEC than that. So I think that's an underrated part of this offseason. Look, I mean, every school gets one, right? When you're talking about the quarterback position, when it's, all attention paid to you for a full offseason, I assume there's a lot of value in that neither one of these guys had a year ago.
Well, again, different because Trinidad would have had a lot of reps at Ferris State.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for Camario, the first year you're getting the majority of the reps at State. Last year, Shapen got the majority of the reps. Now, I made this comment on, I think it's on tomorrow's pod, but we all like Camario Taylor. We all think that we all see the talent, right? We see that the ceiling can be really, really high for him. But his next start will be his third.
It's crazy.
That's what you're talking about here. So
his fourth start will be at Minnesota.
Yeah. He gets, his first ever start was against a college football playoff team in the biggest game of the biggest rivalry game, one of them in college football. And, that's how his career started. So, but at the same time, State needs him to be good from the first minute. They're really only going to go as far as he can take them. They need him to be as good as advertised. That's whatever the ceiling is for Camario Taylor as a sophomore. He needs to be really close to it for this team to be successful.
For sure. How's he looked into practice? Obviously, probably pretty impressive. 'Cause it's practice.
Practice?
We're talking about practice, man.
I haven't been to practice to tell you. So I'll talk to Levy on Friday.
You're crazy. I would go to all the, not even just. I love
go
watching
there and watch them
football.
stretch. I know.
You're
not watching football. You're watching them stretch.
But with the music playing and pads popping and whistles blowing, I can't get enough of that.
I'll let others handle that.
It fuels me.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Now, if they do a scrimmage like that thing on the 11th, I'll go to that. I'll get up at 9:30 in the morning and go. But practice. Yeah, you're not going to find me there.
You're crazy.
Well,
I can't get enough of it.
Well,
even just like the smell of the field, just all of that. Can't get enough. I never could get enough of that.
Interesting report here from Robbie Falk, who is at the game tonight. Ryan McPherson's arm brace is off.
Because they amputated.
No, I didn't say that.
You said the arm was off.
That's the arm brace. Arm brace.
Oh.
Brace.
Oh, see, I thought you said the arm was off.
No.
That would have been.
That would have been something there, yeah. So, I wouldn't expect him this week, but must mean that they feel pretty good about the way things are trending. And otherwise, they would try to keep as much support on that thing as possible.
And especially after what happened this weekend, you just don't.
There's no need to rush.
You don't need to force him at all.
So I need to check. I was, gosh. So Georgia State was up 9-6 going into the bottom of the 8th against Georgia. Georgia plated 8 runs. They now lead the Panthers 14-9 in the top of the 9th. It's a final, 14-9. So Georgia State scored 6 runs in the top of the 8th to take the lead, and they gave up 8 runs in the bottom. What's the opposite of a shutdown inning?
I don't know.
A free love inning? Whatever you want you got. 8 runs. Goodness gracious. So Georgia escapes another, what would have been a bad midweek loss for them, and they will get ready to head to Starkville on Thursday.
Somebody says, yeah, there's nothing like the smell of nice green artificial plastic grass in the spring. You know they have
State has a turf field.
They don't have a natural grass practice field also?
I have to think. I don't know if they do or not.
There's no way it's exclusively turf. There's no way.
Think about that.
There's no way. That would be reckless, to be honest with you, because you got to play on. I mean, I guess you can just practice in the stadium, but your turf guys don't want that.
Boy, if that is grass, State does have good looking grass.
They do.
I don't know. I just it's something I've never really noticed. I'm sure it is, but I have to go out there and look.
We'll be back tomorrow. Got a lot of baseball to talk about. Anything else that comes up between now and then, something will. And we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Good night.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.